My first connection with the culinary arts came about in a strange kind of way. It really happened as a groupie. I was in a restaurant in the south of France
called the Moulin des Mouchons. The who's who of Hollywood was in the room. And in walked this beautifully elegant man with white hair. Everyone in the room's attention turned to him. James Coburn jumped up and hugged him, and Anthony Quinn came over. I had no idea who it was, but I knew that I was drawn to him.
That man ended up being Roger Verger, one of the founders of Nouvelle Cuisine, and ended up being one of the luckiest days of my life. In the late 70s and 80s, I had the great pleasure to travel with Shep Verger around America as he was doing guest appearances. And it became obvious to me as a manager of artists that Mr. Verger and the other chefs in America weren't really being treated as artists.
Shortly thereafter, I ran into Wolfgang Puck. I told him my Verger stories, and he said all the chefs were treated like Mr. Verger. About 3 days later, Wolfgang asked me to come over to Spago's for lunch. And when I went in, there was Nobu, Paul Prudhomme, and 35 of the world's great chefs. They basically said, help, we don't get paid either.
In 1992, I started Alive Culinary Resources in an attempt to build a highway between the great culinary artists and their audience. When I started working with the chefs, one of the things that really surprised me was that they weren't given any of the tools that they needed to perform their art. I would go to cooking events and the chefs would present their food, but they didn't have stoves. And I would say to Mr. Verger, I'd whisper to him, but Mr. Verger, you do not have a stove. Oh, it's okay, chef. And I said, but Mr. Verger, that would be like Alice Cooper performing without a PA or lights. And I made up my mind that it was possible and that I could help bring the conditions to the culinary arts that would allow them to be appreciated and grow and foster. And I am happy to say that that started a long journey where now chefs like musical artists, like ballet dancers, like filmmakers are supplied with what they need to present their art properly for their customers. And that was a big part of the creation of the celebrity chef, standardizing their performances. And I think it's one of the things I'm proudest of bringing to the industry. I would like to think that the best part of the creation of the celebrity chefs is yet to come. And that's their ability to share with the whole world the benefits of a healthy, exciting diet created by people who care about them. And that's the magic of the culinary arts.